Hello, welcome. This is Walter Bradley. It's December 11th, 2012, and you know what's happened and what the media is jumping like a bunny running down the trail. It is the shooting in Oregon. Welcome, stay tuned. We're going to talk to you a little bit about the Oregon shooting in Portland, Oregon, here on Heart Talk. I'm Walter Bradley. Join us. You want to listen, so do it. Join us now.
I mean, why are they telling us that they're, okay, it might have been one person or it could have been a group of kids in white masks? That's a pretty vague statement.
Well, yes, that's interesting. I'm Walter Bradley. This is Heart Talk. Greg and I are discussing the shooting in Portland, Oregon. With really, first we need to deal with the main subject. For any of you who have lost anybody, we are terribly sorrowed at this, and we offer our deepest condolences. And we're terribly sorry that in the midst of this, all the media is talking about the gunmen and everything. We need to talk about the victims, and as we get the names, we are just getting this information, and we're being very general right now. So I want to start with that, first with condolences to you who have lost a family member, a friend, a colleague, or even an acquaintance that was part of your life and now has been shot by this person, a youth possibly, in Portland, Oregon. Our condolences and our heartfelt sympathies to all involved, and to all the officers and the police and all who responded to this. We are thankful, very thankful for you and the selfless service of putting you in harm's way to protect us. We're so thankful for you and appreciate all that you did, and all the physicians and hospitals and those who work tirelessly to preserve life. Thank you. And I'm Walter Bradley, offering my personal condolences and thanks for all of those in part in this way, and all of those who were helping and seeking to take this matter and bring it to a conclusion with the least amount of damage. We thank you. Now, getting on to the subject that Greg and I want to talk about is, first of all, confusion.
We have three dead.
3 dead
7
at this point,
possibly hurt.
and there's possibly more. 3 dead, and how many were injured, Greg?
Well, we know about 7, but
About 7.
it seems like there were hundreds
involved.
of people that were evacuated. So
Many
hundreds of
evacuations.
people were suffering.
We've had conflicting reports here and unsubstantiated rumors, and they said rumors are flying. When you put rumors out there, that stirs up chaos in understanding. So we don't understand purported reporting. The Oregonian was the one that was...
Can you tell us that rumor that they
excuse
reported
me, I've got a little bit of a blurb here from it. This is not vetted yet, so I don't stand by it. This is something I just picked up and I see. Here is as rumors flew, shoppers described potential suspects. They weren't describing the incident, but talking of potential suspects, ranging from a guy in a hockey mask to youth, a bunch of kids in white masks. Hockey mask, white mask, different descriptions. Police searched cars and stores in the mall and secured the entrances. Well, of course. So we have a problem in...
That's a big range. That's a big range from one person to multiple kids.
Now, because that's multiple guns, and not all would be able to say what the gun was. When somebody is shooting at me, I'm not looking to say, oh, what make and model of weapon is that? Let me check. I heard one report was saying an automatic weapon. That's an assumption. It's not a fact.
Because it's probably a semi.
Possibly. It could have been fully automatic. They don't know. They don't say.
It fully would have been round would have been gone in a couple seconds, right?
Could have been. But when people are being shot at, they don't assess. They can say it sounds like, and it could have sounded like, or it could have been. But you cannot take it until you have the weapon in hand.
Which is
Somebody put out the fact that it's an AR-15. You don't know until you have the weapon and the rounds that were fired.
And
You don't know.
The sheriff's deputies so far haven't said if
No.
it's an AR-15.
No, these are all assumptions, and they're all talk and reports from listeners of the gunfire and those who have seen a man possibly with the gun. I was interested in the fact that a woman outside was reportedly saying that she had seen the gunman enter and looked like, if I remember from you correctly, looked like a youth carrying a gun or something like a gun. I don't know.
She said he looked like a teenager.
Looked like a
wearing
teenager
a gun.
wearing a gun, meaning on his hip. Was he carrying it as if it's an AR-15? It would have been a sling with a gun. She said looks
So
like
that would
he was
make sense.
wearing. So somebody maybe had a sling. We don't know. Wearing could be any number of things.
Wearing is different than carrying.
And so,
Probably, right.
yeah. And that means she would have, if she had a cell phone, did she report it? And then the police came in after he had gone in. And did she call mall security to come out? Well, you don't think like that. I would think call the mall security to confront him and then call the police. That's me.
They've also changed her name.
Changed her name.
From
What was her
Katie-
first name?
Katie Tate
Katie Tate.
to Amber
Tate. Oh, okay, and a change. We don't know anything about this right now. This is not reporting facts right now. I am not talking in regards to truth right now. These are reports, and reports are like Congress. You can hear what they say, but you can't believe a word of it
But
till you get the facts.
The sheriff's deputies are certain that there was only one shooter, only one
The
person.
sheriff said that he's sure that's only one shooter, but he also said something else that you mentioned to me, Greg. What was that? That they had what? They had what to the shooter? They had neutralized them.
They said that the first thing he said, because they were asking him if he was, who the shooter was.
Who the shooter was? They were asking
He
who the
was
shooter was.
neutralized. That's
And he
a
said
direct quote.
he was neutralized. That means they did it.
But then later on, well, they didn't say that. First they said
No,
he
they
was
said he
neutralized.
was neutralized. That means he didn't do it.
But then they said that he was dead. Then it came out.
He was dead.
Then they were saying
Neutralized, dead.
that he shot himself.
Then said he was shot himself.
But the whole question was that, well, if his gun jammed, if his rifle jammed, how could he shoot himself with a rifle jammed and with a magazine
Well,
that was found?
we don't know.
outside?
We have no
don't
knowledge.
know.
These are just reports and talk. And just for the fact that the sheriff said this does not vet anything on the scene, because he's taking it from reports and not from seeing these things. So,
But
not
it-
that he's wrong.
No,
but
but
it
does seem
lends
that
to the fact that he needs to vet these things.
it does seem that most of the report is saying that he came from the parking lot,
Yes,
went
I've
into
heard
Macy's, made his way into the food court.
And I heard it reversed. He came in, went to the food court, and then into Macy's. Total contradiction to what you're saying.
Right.
And when I heard this on the radio, and I was listening to this as I was driving, I was going, "Oh, a shooter is reported. There's a reported shooting at a mall in Portland, Oregon, Clackamas County. Sheriffs are responding. Okay, and it's reported that shots were fired, and that's all that it started out as. Shots fired at a mall in Portland, Oregon.
Because we read that there were six to 8 shots, and then his gun got jammed.
And then I saw one report that said at least 60 shots were fired. Poor shooter to do that. 60 shots fired and hitting few people, especially in close quarters. That doesn't make sense. Generally, there's more people hit when somebody is in close proximity with a high-powered weapon, or with a weapon as a rifle, and it is a weapon which has a clip. You are really, if you're somebody who just picked up the gun and can point and shoot, that's what they tell you. point and shoot. If anybody's in the way of the bullet, they get hit. Now, he was wearing, I hear, Army fatigues and bulletproof vest. Was
And
it
a hockey
military
mask.
grade? And a Halloween mask, as in Halloween the movie,
No,
or
no,
as
hockey-
in hockey style?
Hockey,
Okay.
as in Jason.
Okay.
Jason is
So
the
here's
Friday
somebody-
the 13th.
That reminds me of Columbine to some degree. You introduced new information to me, which I had not looked or seen, in which we will have to have a heart talk on Columbine. And I know the Bowling for Columbine was a great piece of propaganda if what you said is true. I don't know. Or maybe he really believed that.
It seems like it.
But anyway, nothing against Mr. Moore, but there's a lot of facts that we're looking at or lack of. I don't know. And I only go with what I know. That's why I'm reporting this for Oregonian, and this issue is not set yet, and there are no facts out, to be honest. They don't know the facts until they find them. The one thing I want to know, who is this shooter? And that was identified as a youth or a teenager. How young is he? And if he is in his teens, that means there could be something at large with the parents here. What's wrong that they didn't report him? Was he under a doctor's care? Was he reported to be somebody that was, let's just say, antisocial, as in the Columbine situation? Generally, this points to the fact that the community has failed to note a person and has allowed them access to weapons, or allowed them to garner weapons when they shouldn't have been around them in the first place. This is not a fault of a gun. This is the fault of the community. And you can say, well, I never imagined this would happen. No, as a health practitioner, psychiatrist, psychologist, this is your job to vet not, what might happen, to prevent it happening when you have an unstable individual who is prone to these things. Welcome to Heart Talk. It's December 11th, 2012, and in Oregon today we heard about a shooting of innocents in a mall, a teenager. Many reports, automatic, 60 shots, 8 shots, 6 shots, Amber, Kate, who is it? I don't know. Who did it? We don't know. How many? We don't know. What kind of gun? They say a semi-automatic AR-15. Do they know? Is it real? Hey, if you stay on Heart Talk, we'll let my heart talk and let you respond, and even Greg will chime in, and we'll try to find out what the truth is here. So join us here on Heart Talk. We're here to find the truth, and we want you with us. And if you were there, we want you to report to us here on my Heart Talk page on Facebook. Tell us what you experienced, and we'll put your message here on Heart Talk. We're looking for you, because we're looking for the man on the street, the one who was there, the one who has the facts. And what are they not reporting that we need to hear? We want to know it from you, the eyewitnesses. Here, I'm Walter Bradley, inviting you to make a report on Heart Talk. Join us. We're here for the truth, aren't you? Back in a moment.
If the gun jammed, what do we really know? How could he kill himself if the gun jammed?
Hello, I'm Walter Bradley, and this is Heart Talk. We're talking about the Oregon shooting in Portland, and the shooter was reported to be a youth with a rifle, and purportedly to be semi-auto. No steady or clear report is there to say one way or the other. What I will report is that it was reported, indicated that he was carrying an AR-15 rifle. And it explained that the semi-automatic civilian version of the fully automatic or military M16, both rifles fire the same high-powered cartridge.
What is a civilian? What does that mean?
Well,
Civilian.
The semi-automatic civilian version, meaning we don't get versions that the military have, like the AA-12. What's that? It's a shotgun made in Russia.
We can't get it? I can't
Oh,
buy it?
no.
Why
You
not?
will never have a shotgun.
Isn't that part
like
of my
this.
right to bear arms?
Look up the AA-12, everybody, and see if you will find yourself owning it. I dare say you won't, because it fires no matter what. It's a stainless steel shotgun. that will fire dragon breath. And oops, I didn't say that. Dragon breath. Look that up.
Yeah, what's that?
Or a slug with a double-aught buckshot behind it. There's lots of ways to load your shot, people, and dragon breath is the one to use when you're defending your home. I recommend it highly, but when you use the dragon breath, have lots of fire extinguishers around. Anyway, that's a military grade style shot.
Okay.
Anyway, dragon breath. Well, in Russia, that's just what the guys down the street use. In fact, in Russia, if you try, do you know what their problem is in Russia? You don't see drivers there having any road rage. You want to know why? You're liable to get blown off the road. They'll shoot you. Nobody gets into any road rage. It's a polite society. It's an armed society.
Do you think guns make a polite society?
Well, in the arms of the right citizens, and even in the wrong, it keeps people from just, there'd be a lot less anger if people all had guns, because you're possibly going to get shot.
They would take
respect the power.
They would take life more seriously.
Oh yeah, they would. But when you take life less seriously, the more you trust others to take care of you. A welfare society is a society without weapons. Oh, they'll take care of me. The government will take care of me. The police will take care of me. Yes, you're not there to take care of us. You're there to remove the ones who are lawless. That's what you're there for. And to try them and remove them from society. That's what sheriffs and police are to do. Remove the unlawful, not garner the lawful. That's obvious.
Doesn't a shooting like this, doesn't it make you want to feel free to carry weapons in a mall? We have a mall a couple blocks away from here, Bayfair Mall.
But you got to realize that shootings occur here all the time. It's just not news.
But shouldn't citizens be lawfully able to protect their family inside of that mall?
Oh yes, of course they should, but they are not because they are removed. They're made victims by gun control.
Well, you're a parent. Let's say you had a small child, and you knew that some of these shootings were happening by these crazy people. Wouldn't you feel safer if you had a gun by your side?
That means
while you're
I
walking
could
in the mall?
Draw them away from shooting at my loved ones and draw them away even to shoot at me because I have a gun. They have to deal with me. And then that means that they're preoccupied with shooting at me, and I can be in a safe place just shooting at them, and that gives time for the police to get there to deal with them, and then vet that I'm not the shooter, and everybody says, oh, no, it wasn't him. He was just stopping. See, even if you don't shoot the gentleman, you shoot at him. They have to deal with that. That slows down the process. They have to stop shooting innocent people and deal with you.
Well, everybody who wants to own a gun should learn how to use it.
Oh no, nobody should own a gun unless they're trained, period.
True.
You should not be able to buy a gun until you are trained.
Well, that's a whole constitutional thing. But definitely, if you really care about people, if you're really going to use a gun for the right purpose, you would want to learn how to use that gun properly.
Of course.
And you would want to learn how to shoot people, how to make sure that the only person that you shoot is the one who's shooting at you.
But the thing is, in the South,
which is training.
In the South, children are trained how to break down guns and put them back together and use them.
But that's the thing, training.
Oh yeah, they're trained like the military. I saw a 14-year-old girl strip an AR-15 down, put it back together in less than a minute.
Because she was trained.
Yeah, and is she going to handle a gun right? Excuse the expression, heaven yes.
Well, under this government, they would call her a terrorist. They would say that she's a terrorist because
she knows how to use a gun. Our government, in some ways, when they speak these ways, are treasonous against the Constitution.
Well, we love the Constitution. We're going to stand by our Constitution.
I do. And the military, sworn by the Constitution to defend it, would have to remove this government. But in every government for quite a few years back. But they're not going to do that.
But getting back to this shooting, there were many witnesses who said that this person ran from the parking lot. Into Macy's, into the food court, and was shooting.
I heard it jammed.
And they were saying,
and that he shot himself. That doesn't make sense to me.
how could he shoot himself if the gun
And
jammed?
and
How does that make sense?
An AR-15, yeah, you might be able to.
Do they
get
jam a lot? Do the AR-15s
I
jam?
haven't heard a lot of people talk about jamming.
Have you ever heard one person
I
say
haven't
that
heard about
AR-15
the people that make AR-15s. I'm sure they can jam. Any gun can
at
jam.
any time? At any time.
And well, let's just say
Because you never know.
if it is properly cared for, it is very unlikely that a quality gun will jam.
But if it's handed,
Unless-
to you,
Unless it's an ammo issue, or
What does
an
that mean?
ejection
What does
issue,
that
meaning the ammo is not correct or not quite defective ammo, can cause jams, and defective guns are mishandled. In other words, if you cock it and you don't do a full, release and pull on it, these things can happen.
Okay.
That's why you're trained how to do these things, how to load, and to, when an automatic weapon, when you put the magazine in, it isn't loaded. You can shoot all you want until you pull the loading mechanism. Usually it's like a clip or just a little clip sticks out there, and it goes back, takes the bullet from the magazine and pulls it in, and then it's automatic after that. It's a insertion device, we'll call it that, for just average.
what do you think about that? The quote where they said that the AR-15 is a citizen version of the military version. It's kind of weird.
Well, they do that for police, and meaning it's a rifle, it's an AR-15. Okay, it's a high school version of the M16.
What does that mean?
But all that means is it's not an automatic weapon. That's all that means. It's not automatic. You can't switch between semi-auto to auto to single fire or whatever it is. Automatic is military grade.
But most
And
most
they mean
people
that it's simply not a fully automatic weapon.
most people would tell you that a semi-automatic is actually more effective than an automatic weapon. I would think, because automatic
If you've ever been
weapon
in a battle
is
with a fully automatic and a semi-automatic, it depends on the shooter.
well, okay. So a fully
Automatic gun will
is better for a big
eradicate
crowd.
more people more quickly.
Right, but it's not
If you know what
good
you're doing.
if you really want to, in this type of thing. I mean, you had 2 people killed, 3 people maybe.
But if he would have had an automatic, he would have had more people killed and wounded. I guarantee it.
Maybe, but he might have missed more because it fires so fast.
Well, no. Due to that, he would have hit more because he would have been spraying a fireball.
But not
putting a
if
sheet
he's
of
running.
metal there.
But the
He
way
would hit more people.
that they're telling us is that he was running from store to store. So he ran the whole way. He was determined. He was on a mission. So
I didn't hear that he's running store to store.
So,
I heard
well,
he was food
that's-
court to Macy's or Macy's to the food court. Those 2 places, that's it.
sure, but
We don't know.
what the witnesses are saying, or at least what one witness whose name has changed is saying, is that he was running from there, and there were many witnesses that were saying that he was
He might have been running from store to store to get away.
Right, but with a automatic weapon, if you're jogging
That is
through,
jammed, and that's why I quit shooting.
but if you're jogging through the store with a automatic weapon, it's not going to work as well. You're not going to hit as many people with a semi-automatic weapon.
That's true. But a fully auto would, and that's the military. That's what they're stating when they say.
If you're standing, but
it's a
you're
civilian.
not going to be on fully auto if you're jogging. True? Because you're not going to hit as many people.
Well, and the thing is, if it's semi-auto, you can't go auto. The most you could get is rapid fire.
And that's not going to do anything unless you're standing, pointing purposely at some target.
Unless you get now, if you're jogging, you're not going to be
You're not
able
gonna
to
be on
aim
auto.
unless you're trained. You can jog, and a trained person can hit targets, but it's a lot more difficult and takes real training.
You have to be
run
military.
and shoot, and that's when the full auto becomes more effective because you're not aiming when you're jogging and point and shoot. Then it's point and shoot at a target, not targeting and firing.
Right.
Difference there. One is point at, the other is follow, target, and shoot, taking into account the person you're trying to shoot. In other words, you're seeing they're going, you're tracking, and you're boom, and you're planning how to shoot them at the point that you want them to intersect. You're doing a little bit of planning. So targeting is different than just making them a target, just aiming at it.
Okay, so we're gonna come back in a couple days, and we're going to.
Yeah, we'll follow up on this and wait till the facts kind of rise up through the talk and miscommunication and.
But we're gonna be back here on Heart Talk.
We'll be back on Heart Talk. Excuse me there. And we'll be able to talk more factually about this incident in Portland, Oregon. Today's date is the 11th of December. That's an interesting date, December 11, 2012. And as far as the Mayan prophecy, that'll come in, 10 days? As one put it in the Vatican, it's not worth even talking about. And I agree. This is Walter Bradley. This is Heart Talk reporting on the shooting incident in Portland, Oregon, Clackamas County at the mall. We'll have more to talk about in a couple of days, so stay tuned. This was just a talk about the reports, not any facts. So again, come back and join us in a couple of days. We'll have something for you, more hot and on target here with Heart Talk. I'm Walter Bradley with Greg Fernandez and Mind Body Soul. Join us again. We'll have Sonny Desai here to talk to. We'll look forward for you. Hey, Heart Talk here, 2 days, Thursday. See ya. That's the 13th. Peace. Hello, this is Walter Bradley. We have reports of a youth or a teenager wearing a hockey mask in Oregon and Portland in a mall, Macy's in the food court, shooting shoppers on Christmas shopping. We are here to find out what really happened, and we don't know. So if you were there, we want to hear from you and find out what really happened and what are they really reporting and what's true and what's not. Do you say, hey, what are they saying that for? Hey, that didn't happen, or they forgot to say this. What happened? Do you know? Can you tell us? Can we vet what you say? Hey, on Heart Talk, that's what we're about, the truth. So come to us with your truth, let your heart talk, and we can report the truth so all know what really happened in Portland, Oregon, at the mall, Macy's, and in the food court. Was it a youth? Was it a teenager with an AR-15? We don't know until we hear from you. So put your comments, call us up, drop us a line, Mind, Body, Soul, or go to Facebook and Heart Talk and leave your commitment down there and tell us what happened. We'll report it right here, right back to you. And if you leave your name, hey, I'll speak your name. And guess what? I'm coming up to the Portland area within a month or so. I'll even interview you and talk to you about the shooting in Clackamas County at the mall in Portland. So give us your comments. We're looking for you because we want to know the truth. I'm Walter Bradley. This is Heart Talk. Come on, people. We know you got something to say. Put it down there and put it the truth. And those who think it hadn't been put out there, give it to us. We'll report it. We're here for you, and we're you for here. Right? Join us on Heart Talk. I'm Walter Bradley. Join us. Get that truth out, because if you don't tell the truth, who will?